Do you often have the feeling of abandonment, or maybe you just have no control over your situation whatsoever, and it leaves you just feeling like nobody cares or just everybody's leaving you behind? I want to help you with that. And by the end of this video, you should have some kind of, maybe like, let's call it a tool set or a thought process that you can use to kind of get out of this mindset. This is Ryan Talks. And the reason I am talking about this is because recently I've realized just how much my childhood has affected my feeling of abandonment and the control that I feel like I need to have because of that. And I wanted to talk about that in this video. So I know I've mentioned this story a number of times in my channel, and I'm sure at some point I'm going to hear about how many times I've mentioned it. But when I was about 7 years old, my sister was born, and I didn't have any other siblings up to that point. So I had my mother to myself. Now, my parents are still married to this day. I had a regular traditional family dynamics where my dad went to work and my mom was home raising me. And it was great. It was great. So for the first 7 years of my life, it was just my mom and I. And then comes my sister. Now, it's not my sister's fault. It's not my parents' fault. But I all of a sudden went from having all the attention to like a split attention, and babies obviously need more attention than a 7-year-old does because of feeding and all that, diapers and all that other kind of, that other thing going on. And so I started feeling like I just had no, attention from her anymore. And I didn't realize at the time, but it really gave me this abandoned feeling. And so because of that, I've realized that I've tried to control all situations in my life, whether it's a relationship with people, whether it's a job situation, anything that you can imagine, anything that is outside of your control. I have tried to manipulate and control somehow. And I wanted to talk about this and how some of the things that I've done to get me from having this thought. And I think the most beneficial, I'm actually going to list the most beneficial right off the bat, is knowing that you're only living right now. You're not living in the past. It's like a canceled check. You can't live in the future because you don't even know if you're going to make it. It's kind of like if you are in a relationship or trying to start a relationship or whatever it is, and you're already trying to say that it's not going to work out. You're trying to control the situation for something that might not even happen, right? I never was actually abandoned by my mother. I was never abandoned by my parents whatsoever, but I thought that it was going to happen because they were giving more attention to my sister. You might be going into a job situation or a relationship and you start thinking of stuff that you think might happen in the future. You might start thinking like, in my case, it would be she's going to screw me over in 15 years, 20 years. And you kind of live based on that possibly happening. And so what you have to do is ask yourself, if it's a relationship, am I happy with this relationship? Am I happy with where it's going right now? And is there anything I can really do about it? Anyways, you can try to control it as much as you want to, but right now, where is it? Because that's the only place that you can live, and the only place that you can actually do anything about anything. So if it's a job that you want, the only thing you can do right now is look for a job and maybe apply for it, if people even do that these days. Or you can, if you're in a relationship or trying to search out a relationship, you can say right now, like, don't ask them why they didn't call or why they don't do this or whatever it is. Don't put them in a defensive position. Just say, I would really like it. I know you're busy, but I would like it if you would we could at least talk once a day or something like that. And that will build into the relationship that is either going to be or not be. And it gives you the opportunity to just kind of free your time, free your mind, and go into what it is that you need to be doing at that time. Because if you focus solely on this one thing, you're going to miss out on everything else around it. So what can you do right now? Now, I'm actually I kind of went through that over the weekend, right? I started talking to someone. She's in school, and I personally would like to talk to her more often, but I know she's in school and I'm building these channels and doing my other things, so I can't focus solely on that. I just say, look, I'd like to talk to you at least once a day, and it's been perfect. It's been working out great. I'm not gonna text her 1,000 times a day, like I'll just leave her alone, right? And just leave it alone. If it works out, it works out great. And you have to do that with everything. You have to live right now. Right now, I'm talking to a camera. I can't focus on what's going to happen 20 minutes from now. I might still be talking on the camera in 20 minutes. I don't know. So get in the mindset of now. And one of the things that you can do is, I don't have one with me, but you can visualize that this is a candle. I think one of the best meditations I've ever seen, I don't even know if it's really called a meditation, but it's like process that I've ever seen, is visualize that this is a flame. And I really wish I had one down here right now. And as you breathe in, you can kind of see the whole world expanding, but it's coming inward. And just visualize everything, all your energy coming inward, and ask your heart, where you're at right now. And then as you breathe out, you can kind of like see the world kind of, being what it is. You look a little bit away from the flame and you visualize just it being what it is. And you keep doing that. That is one good method. It doesn't have to actually be a flame. It could literally just be this pen. You breathe in and it's hard to explain, but you just see kind of like the expansion. And then when you breathe out, you see, things coming inward. And that's, so if you can visualize the other people on the other, so the other people are on the out breath, but you're on the in breath. You're breathing that positive energy in. You're not breathing negative energy out. You're just breathing out and realizing that they aren't you. They aren't attached to you. The only thing you can do is live right now. So you can't really control anything except for what you're doing and what you're doing right now, because you can't even control what you're going to do 5 minutes from now. So you can only be here. And I think if you get to that space, if you use like a meditation like this, I highly suggest just buying a candle. Buy maybe one of the glass ones that kind of sits something that sits upright, but you can buy one that you hold. And just go from there. It really helps quite a bit. But just focus on other things. Maybe go for a hike. Maybe go for a bike ride. Maybe I've got a trampoline right here. I like to bounce on the trampoline. There's tactile things that you can do too. So like if something's really bothering you, the more tactile something is, like working with your hands, like going out in the garden, or maybe this time of year the leaves are falling off the trees. So you go out and do something with the leaves. Don't bring your phone with you. Stop staring at your phone. Leave your phone somewhere else. Like after 6 o'clock usually at night, when I'm done with everything, I leave my phone down here. I don't look at it again the rest of the day. Your phone, constantly looking at your phone, constantly looking at your phone, the screen, every little notification that comes in, you're going to be thinking about whatever it is. I can't believe they're not contacting me. It's gonna be an absolute struggle. So don't do that. Just live in the now. Know that you can only be in the now. And right now, maybe you do need to go just do the leaves. Just go do the leaves, because just staring at your phone or doing whatever it is isn't helping you. I don't think video games are good for this. A lot of people like to play video games and escape. I don't think it's a good idea to do that. I really don't. I think that escapism is not very good. I think the tactile, real things that you can do in your life are far better, because you're actually grabbing something. You're grounding yourself. If you're out in the garden, if you're out doing leaves, if you're out hiking, if you're out biking, if you're out swimming, you're actually grounding yourself. When you're playing video games, you're kind of levitating on a couch. You're not really touching anything that's natural materials hardly at all anymore. And I think the more natural materials that you can touch, like dirt, sand, water, I think that really helps. I think that alleviates a lot of this. So that's my suggestion. Living in the now, touching earth, earthing, balancing yourself. I know this sounds foo-foo, frou-frou, whatever you want to call it. It's fine. Just know that helps so much. And get the phone out of your face. You probably could have the opposite of it too. Maybe you're talking too much. Just there needs to be like silence and there would be no, if you were playing music, there would actually be no notes if there was no silence in between the notes, because you couldn't hear anything because there's no silence in between it. So take this for whatever it's worth, but living in the now is going to usually start to alleviate the abandonment feeling, because right now you're not abandoned, right? You're with yourself, and you come into this world by yourself, and you're going to leave this world by yourself. So the self that you are, that which you are, that which doesn't change, is where you're at now. Like there's no other realm but now. So yes. Anyway, comments, questions down below, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next